Well, what I have here is a muscle roller. Who makes this thing? Okay, there's the name over there. I don't know if you can see it. So a lot of us have these things, and listen to this. So they squeak. You know, if you go online and you look at the info for the companies, they say no, they won't squeak. Some people say you want to lubricate it with some type of strange oil, some corn syrup or something. I don't know. But mostly they just say go in there and do your lubrication in there, which is good, I'm sure. It might work, it might not. It probably will. But you're most likely going to get a whole bunch of oil or lubricant all over you when you use it until it finally seeps out of there. So I don't really know how these things are put together. I looked on the end. It doesn't look like... Does the end come off? Well, maybe the end comes off. Okay, so maybe it's got an end cap. Maybe it's going to pop off. Probably won't matter. Probably won't do anything. What do we have inside there? I think we have a screw. I don't know. So let's see if we can take this thing apart without... Does this thing come apart? If it doesn't, then I'm going to have to... I might take a screw out, or I might just lubricate it. It's separating over there. Oh, wow. It's separating over here. So maybe I don't need to take this cap off. I don't know where it squeaks. When you go on the websites for the companies, they talk about where it might be squeaking. Well, it's probably squeaking on all of these things here. So I don't really know what holds this thing in. Chances are if I take it apart, I might break it. But if you break it, you can probably fix it. So, okay, the name is on both ends. I don't know if this is going to come off all the way. Oh, and it does as I say that. So what do we have over here? Does it spin? It does not spin. No spinning on the end. Now, I don't know if this is going to come off or if it's got something that holds these on. I just heard a little squeak. So I'm not really sure. You know, it could be squeaking from two different parts. Chances are it's squeaking on the this thing is rubbing against the metal, and it's probably also squeaking plastic. Maybe plastic against plastic. I barely heard a little sound. So let me see if this piece comes off. It might not. What is on this thing? Okay, I'm going to have to get out my visor and see what's in here. Alrighty, what we have is a little piece of like plastic, like rubbery type thing. Maybe that's to stop this thing from moving around. So my assumption is that if you remove these pieces of rubber, you're probably going to break them as they slide off. And that would not be a good thing. I have an enormous amount of separation over here. So I'm thinking that you probably only have the rubber piece right on the end and not all the way around. I just heard a beep. I don't know what I heard a beep from. I'm going to pull off see if I can pull off this end piece. Oh boy, I just don't want all of this to go flying across the room, and I could be pushing that rubber piece down even further. Maybe I don't want to do that. There's absolutely nothing inside here that needs to be lubricated. Oh boy, does this only go on in one way? Maybe I broke it. Maybe I broke it. Whoa, it's going to take some force up. All right, so maybe it's ruined now because it kind of separates, and it didn't do that before. Or maybe it did do that before. I don't know. Let's see if this side comes off. Oh boy. So as I'm looking here, all right, I don't know if you could see it in here. Hopefully you can. Hopefully it's zoomed in enough. See if I can zoom in a little bit more. Over here we've kind of, inside here, if the camera shows it, I think it does. It's kind of some grayish gunk over there. Oh, it's on all of them. You see that? It's on all of them. So I don't know if there was if that's a lubricant, a dry lubricant. It's not over here. Wow, it's not over here by this last piece. It's interesting that this piece doesn't want to move. But it doesn't really look like there's anything inside these pieces of plastic. Why did that just squeak? It doesn't look like there's anything inside these pieces of plastic except this gunky material in here. There are no bearings in there, so I'm guessing that it's just the plastic rubbing against the metal. Oh, it just did it. It squeaked. But I don't know why. Now let me press the plastic against plastic. So it's kind of a tight fit, but this is just plastic spinning on metal. There are no bearings in here at all. And so my assumption is that it's just the plastic end pieces spinning against each other. And if you put some lubricant on that, it's gonna go all over your clothing and all over everything. So how do you lubricate this thing? How do you lubricate this thing? That's the big question. So lubricating stuff is always tough, because if you put a lubricant on there, you want it to work, but you don't want it to splatter all over. You don't want it to drip all over. You don't want it to smell. Most of these oil-based things, they just have a terrible scent to them. And so you don't want to use that stuff that everybody uses that's WD, because that's not a lubricant. That is a degreaser, solvent type of material, and it kind of melts or dissolves the lubricant that you already have in there, so it defeats the purpose. So if you're going to lubricate, you probably want what everyone uses nowadays, a silicone-based lubricant. You can find those in the store. It's just silicone-based, and that should work. So I'm still looking at this and I'm thinking, where in the world do you lubricate it? Because you saw in the handle, spinning both handles right now, holding both handles, it's not like it's squeaking. So then the big question is, do you want to even lubricate it? And yeah, I'll do that. What I'm going to do, it's going to be kind of hard to do it on video because I can't stand this thing up without spraying my camera. Maybe if you want to stand this on end to end and spray and let everything run downward, but I don't really think that matters, because it's not really making a lot of noise. Oh, it just squeaked there. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, I'm just moving this piece, and it's not on anything. It is the plastic. It's the plastic rubbing on the metal. So it needs a little bit of lubricate. And probably if you spray it, if you stand it end to end, it will run all the way down the pole, and you might have to do a little wiping or cleaning up. Be better if you didn't have a spray, because that way you can control how much is going to get on there and how much you have to clean up. But this is not going to be easy. I have a spray, so this is going to go all over the place, because it's not a controlled spray. Okay, I've sprayed a little. I'm going to stand it on end to end. It's already running all over the place. God, does that smell? But it's not really. It's already. I can feel it. It's moving better, and that might help it. I don't. I'm end to end on the plastic right now, so it's obviously not a plastic end to end problem. It's the inside, because they didn't use a bearing, because then it would cost a fortune if they did. So the only way to really do this is let's use a silicone based. Get this stuff in there. You know, this thing's a couple years old. I haven't had any problems with it. It was squeaking almost the day I bought it. That seems to be a common complaint for people. I'm going to spray it on the end, even though I probably shouldn't. I'm going to try to get in over here, spray it on the end. And so the smart thing to do, which I'm not going to do, the smart thing to do would be to go in there now and clean this up. But if you, the whole thing is that if you clean it up, if you mop it up, then you're going to get particles from the cloth, and you're going to remove the lubricant. And the whole point of putting it on the lubricant is to lubricate everything. Sliding a little better. And with something like this, you know, oh, that's a little tight. That's a lot tight. This end one over here. I don't know why this end one. Maybe it's the, oh, it was that plastic piece. Okay, so it feels a lot better. Silicone-based lubricant. So what I'm going to do before I shut off the video, so I'm just going to go in here with a cloth now, and I'm not going to touch the metal. I just want to get whatever, some of the overspray for the plastic, probably not much. And then with something like this, you just have to leave it for a couple days. Let the, roll it around on a cloth, let the lubricant run out, wipe it up, let it run out again, wipe it up, and pretty soon it won't be running out anymore. And you'll have something that's probably better than brand new. So hopefully this video helped you. Hey, I got a lot of awesome videos. Do a thumbs up, a subscribe, or a like if you want to help me out. Ask for my PayPal channel if you want to leave a donation. If you have a product you want me to review, if I can get a hold of it, I will do a review, a video for you. So, a little bit of dirt's coming out, not much. And I don't really see any lubricant floating around right now, but if you watch the video, oh, it's cracked over there. Okay, maybe I cracked this. I probably cracked it when I was taking it out. That's why I kept on coming out, because it was cracked. Alright, so that's not good. It will still work. And what I could do, I won't be able to lubricate it anymore. But what I'm going to do is I'll just shove some glue or epoxy in there. Not that it really matters. It's not like this handle's going to... Whoa, oh, maybe it will come off. But when you use it, you hold both sides. So, alright, let's zoom out. And that is going to conclude my video. If you do crack it, go put some glue on there. These things are not that expensive. So you get your money's worth using this for 2 or 3 years, maybe even 1 year. And that's all that really matters. I know a lot of people look at the stuff and say 20 bucks and it broke in a year. I'm so upset. No, if you get $20, if you get a benefit out of something like this and it breaks, you go out and you buy another one because it's the benefit. It's not that it has to last forever. So I'm happy with this thing. All of these rollers are almost the same, I would think. They all seem to squeak after a certain amount of time. But they're worth it. They're worth it because they definitely help. So thanks for watching. Alrighty, we got a little bit of very high level epoxy here. This stuff is very old, but it still seems to work. It's extremely old, very expensive. Extremely expensive. So I'll be mixing the epoxy over here, and then after I get the epoxy mixed, I don't even care how it's going to look, but I just want to get some of it into the cracks over here to seal this up a little bit. Don't think it's going to make any difference. Might stop it from cracking more. Probably going to make it look worse. Definitely has a strong epoxy smell to it. So I want to get it down into the crack over there. Okay. actually doesn't look bad. So that's going to be the repair for those people that wanted to know what it would look like. It's sealed up. I'm not going to go all the way into the edge because then I'll worry about the thing spinning. It spins now, so I'm just going to leave it that way. There's no noise, so that's how you lubricate your exercise roller, your muscle roller.